Well, it's just backwards, but that's okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erica Flynn Walker. Good evening. Welcome to the Raymond Hall Show, where service is a different conversation. Here with Mr. Hall this good afternoon, evening. How are you doing, Mr. Hall?
I'm doing fine, and thank you for opening the show. Okay.
You're welcome.
Boy, can you believe it?
It's been 365 days officially on the 31st that the Raymond Hall Show has been broadcasting live here from the Morris Media Studio in Leimert Park, California. And the time went by just like that.
Isn't that something?
It's just incredible.
Yes. I'm just amazed. I'm the engineer and I was talking. He was with me at RMC at Roscoe's Media Center.
Right.
On Pico Boulevard. So we actually have 3 years of broadcasting as the Raymond Hall Show, but a year with Mrs. Erica Flynn Walker right here by my side. And I'm going to tell you right now, if it were not for her during the course of this year, especially those times when I just didn't have nothing, I couldn't do anything about it. You just have to let health does what health does. So I want to commend you for this whole solid year of work and just making miracles happen after miracles happen.
Exactly. And one miracle after the next. And I just want to thank each and every one of you that tuned in to the Raymond Hall Show during this year. And we look forward to a brand new year with new and thrilling and exciting topics for you to chime in on.
Yeah. We have a different conversation, and that's what we put up straightforward. You hear a lot of information coming your way. And sometimes when you move towards something that helps you live a better quality of life, sometimes things that are very important gets lost. And service is one of those things that sometimes seems to get lost. People want to make like it gets lost more often than not. I don't happen to think that way. I think that people genuinely hold to service and try to do the best that they can. So I'm extremely thankful, like Mrs. Walker said, to all of you who stuck with us and stayed with us. And we're going to continue to talk about the value and the benefits of service, especially serving in your community and how that community service helps strengthen the nation itself. 1 year anniversary at Morris Media Studios.
Right, and so it's definitely a triumphant day because, the years go by so fast, you don't really realize all the time and effort that you've put into it. So I'm just feeling really, really good about the fact that I hung in there, I committed to it here with the Raymond Hall Show, and we have produced, in our opinions, some thoughtful, provocative, different conversations for you, the audience.
Yes. And while this winds up a year, this also is the beginning of a new year. And we're opening that up today with, we said, okay, enough with the guests for this show. We're just going to have this anniversary just talking about some important things where you can clearly see the service is important too. We want to mention a couple of things because these are the people that help make this show possible. We want to mention our sponsors and supporters. American Legion Post 109, Commander Payne is the commander of that post. Now, that post meets every Monday, and we're going to give you more details on that. And also, I'm a Luxury.
I'mALuxury.com is live and well, and you can go there right now. Well, not right now, after the show.
Yeah.
Take a run over to I'mALuxury.com and spend some time there for the luxurious, go where the luxurious go for luxury.
Yeah. I'm really impressed because Mrs. Walker and I were talking about conglomerates last night, and we're going to be talking about that more in the show. But she has this vision for what life should entail, and her vision is that a healthy life should also entail not only those times where you're required to gird yourself, as they used to say in the old days. In other words, just strengthen yourself to do the things that you need to do. But it should be some happy moments, some luxurious moments, some times that you can treat yourself and do for yourself and dream for yourself and have your dreams. So when you hear I'mALuxury.com, you'd be surprised. It don't necessarily mean that everything there is the cost of a Bugatti.
No, it's not.
You know, you can find some things that are
Affordable luxury
and made,
items.
very well made, and you know, just go there and make sure you pay attention. Also, pretty cards.
Pretty Cards by Miss Sonia.
Yes. And you can go down to Zahara's bookstore. Now, if you're not in LA, remember Zahara's bookstore, and you're going to get two treats. The bookstore is going to be enlightening to you, and then to see these beautiful handmade cards, they're one of a kind.
Yes, they are.
They're going to be of help to you. So we've got to pay attention to them because they're the ones that help make this show possible. Remember, service comes in a myriad of ways. When you take your talent and you use your talent to benefit others, that too is a service. Putting beauty in somebody's life and those kind of things is a talent. So we're just thankful for all of the supporters and everything, for people that
have supported us, the long list of loyal followers and audience that have been with us. I want to thank my children, Eugene and Ashley Church, my grandchildren, my mom and dad, and just people that come up to me throughout the day and all of this year and have just expressed to me that they have received some valid, solid, concrete information from the Raymond Hall Show that they were able to actually benefit from. They were able to pick up the phone and dial some of the numbers and contact some of the people of which we have presented here on our platform for them. And so I just say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
And we look forward to bringing you so much more information and conversations that can make a difference in your life.
Right. Well, I'm so thankful just every day just to be here, just to draw breath. It's absolutely incredible. So my thanks start with the Almighty up above.
Yes.
You know, I coined a phrase some time ago, and when I heard it, I went, "Oh, they stole my stuff."
Right.
And then I thought about it. Someone told me imitation is the highest form of flattery or
yes,
something like that. And it went something like breath in, breath out. And in between a breath in and a breath out, you leave this earth.
Wow.
Yeah. In between, I mean, we're constantly breathing in and out and in and out. And you actually leave this earth in between a breath in and a breath out.
Wow, that's heavy.
Now, here is what makes it solid. Whether you believe, don't believe, whether you hold to this doctrine or that doctrine, breath in, breath out, in between a breath in and a breath out, you leave this earth, and that's the beginning of your eternity.
That's
no matter
heavy,
how you chop it up.
You're just so heavy on my
head. Yeah. So that's so I have to thank the good Lord. You know, just heart transplant. I got to remember I don't have no illusion that this day that I have is another day that He's given me. And my son and daughter, oh my God, they're just the most like Ashley and your son.
Right.
Yeah, you know, they're just so special because they call you seemingly at the right time.
Right.
You could be feeling down, and Tiffany will pick up the phone. Hey, Dad, how you doing?
Right.
Or they'll pop up in an email. Want to say I love you.
Right.
So I always want to thank them for supporting me. I just want everyone to know that we want you to like us on this show, and we want you to help us to grow this show. We see all around us chaos. You see chaos trying to sit in the place of legitimate service. Okay? See, you're going to do service one way or the other. If you be quiet, you're going to have quiet service.
Right.
I sat at my fruit bowl one day. I wanted an apple.
Right.
And I sat there and I had quiet thoughts of an apple being in that fruit bowl.
And it wasn't in there.
It never materialized.
But in your mind.
In my mind, I wanted it to materialize.
Right.
You know what I had to do?
What did you do?
Get in my car, get up, go to the store, buy some apples, put some money on the thing, come back, and I had all of the pretty fruit apple in the bowl that I wanted to eat.
Right.
So sometimes you have to get up and you have to let your service be to go get. Okay? Get up and make something happen to make something happen.
Absolutely. Okay? And in addition to that, the Raymond Hall Show welcomes Reverend Lonnie McNamee as our latest sponsor.
Yes.
And we look forward to his continued sponsorship. Also, we would like for you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and also iTunes, so that we can continue to build our audience and continue to expand, because that's what we're here to do, and we're going to need your participation to do that. So we look forward to this new and upcoming year of eventful, all these different things that are going on in the news daily, that we can have conversations which are different conversations, where the service lies that we gives you. We look forward to being able to bring that to you here from the Raymond Hall Show.
Yeah. Now, I got checked right before I left the house today.
What happened?
A dear friend called me and says, Happy Vietnam Veterans Day.
Right.
And I'm going, oh.
You didn't know.
I forgot.
You forgot.
So that just straight checked me.
But who's the person that makes all these days up? Like, I don't ever remember this being something that was a normal thing. Today is Happy Cake Day or Vietnam Veterans Day. Where does it derive from?
The Vietnam Recognition Day is really a significant thing, and here's why. World War II, World War I, all of these people had their recognition, these soldiers, and rightfully so. They were recognized for their war period.
Okay.
It was only through President Barack Obama that they began to recognize the Vietnam and the Vietnam era veteran for their period of service. Okay. That's where the commendation letter and that pen and all of that came from.
Which my dad received.
Yes, and everybody that received it, they're so happy because
they love it.
Yeah, so they actually set aside a day for Vietnam Veterans Day.
Okay.
And me being that period, you would have thought I would have remembered it, but it just got past me. So all of you Vietnam and you Vietnam era veterans, matter of fact, all of you people that are serving all over the nation, both domestically, internationally, those that are serving in places of peace and those that are serving in places of war zones and aggression zones, we want to thank you for that service. There's a lot of things going on, and people are at liberty to do and be who they want to be. And that's because, in part, those liberties are afforded by those things. Make no mistake, when you see a F-15 or F-18, when you see some of the other armament that the nation have and other nations have, it's not people are building these things just because they want to build these things. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a proponent of some of the things that go on, but it's not just whimsical. These things are needed in order to protect the nation and keep its borders strong. So happy Vietnam Veterans Day to those persons who served in country and who served during the period, and to the persons who served other periods. Thank you for their service as well.
Okay, in keeping with our anniversary, I do say thank you to each and every one of those men and women that served. I appreciate your service. In addition to that, okay, we're going to be taking a caller, and we're so excited.
Oh,
okay, let's put our headphones, grab that headset over there.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
It's on. Hello?
Hello? Who's on the line?
Okay, we're gonna be looking forward to that caller.
We have, oh, well, why don't we take a break? Well, while the engineer is working on it, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in to the Raymond Hall Show with Mrs. Erica Flynn Walker and myself.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with you.
And we are back. Thank you for
Thank you
staying
for
with
coming back
us.
with
And I
us.
understand we have a caller on the line.
Hello?
Stay with, thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in the pre-Easter season, and tomorrow is Passover, right?
Yes, sir.
Is tomorrow Passover?
Tomorrow's Friday, yes.
Tomorrow's Friday, Passover. Okay. All right.
And
So,
Easter's going to be actually on April Fool's Day this year. Have we ever experienced that? I'm
No.
sure we have, but
no, not you.
hello,
Okay.
caller, are you there?
Well, what we'll do is we'll keep going, and when the caller gets in, we'll just cut him in.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I think I am here.
okay,
Yes.
Hello?
caller. Hi, how are you? Who am I
I am
speaking
wonderful. I'm wonderful. This is Derek Williams.
Oh, Mr.
with?
Williams.
Hi, Mr. Williams. How are you today?
I am excellent. I'm excellent. I had wanted to call in for two reasons. One is I want to acknowledge Mr. Hall. Today is the National Vietnam Veterans Day,
I
Yes.
told you.
and I know Mr. Hall, who was a former Marine who served during that time. So I just want to call and congratulate you and thank you for your service and paving the way for the younger jarheads or devil dogs or whatever you want to call it that came through years after. So I wanted to thank you for that. And then this is the anniversary of the Raymond Hall show, and so I'm really excited about that. So it's like he just always finds a way to serve, and I just want to say thank you, Ms. Hall, for being an inspiration. Thank you for being not just an inspiration, but an example of servitude, finding a way to help community, finding a way to help individuals, and I just wanted to thank you, congratulate you, and pray that God just continues to bless you and take the Raymond Hall show to that next level, you know. So I just wanted to say, call in and just say that and just appreciate you.
Well, thank you so
Thank
very
you so
much,
much. We
Derek.
appreciate you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't know, he was actually our first guest.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
He was our first
Yes.
guest.
He's the Chief Executive Officer for Focus 2 Hypnosis. That's one of the divisions of his company. And he's got a transportation company.
And he was here talking about the benefits of was it 31 or 33?
Chapter 31.
Chapter 31?
Yes. Yes. So thank you very much, my friend. I'm just so blessed to have you as both a friend and a neighbor and mentor and everything else. So we are extremely grateful
Yes.
for you remembering and blessing our show.
And we look forward to you returning to our panel so that we
Right.
can get some updates on this chapter 31 and your other businesses that you're offering to the public. So we'd love for you to come back.
Well, yeah, well, Mr. Hall, all you gotta do is just snap his fingers and
Yeah.
I'll appear.
Well, you have a standing invitation, my brother. You
All
let us know
right.
when you want us to write you into the show, and it's done. So we thank you. And anybody else want to call in? The call-in number is 323-293-3375. We welcome your comments and calls. Derek, thank you so very much, my friend.
Thank you,
Have a
Derek.
good day.
Have
All
a
right,
great
thank you,
day.
Yara.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.
Oh, very good.
That was nice.
Now, see, he was one of our first guests. See, now that's support.
That he was out. That's nice. Okay.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, in keeping with our anniversary celebration, our show today is about 3 topics relevant to here and now. Our show today is titled We Are Here.
Wow.
And that's segment 1, Remembering Linda Brown. Linda Brown was, in quotation, Brown versus Board of Education.
Okay. A lot of people think that because they're born, this is the way things were.
Right.
Not so.
Not so. Absolutely not so.
At one time, black people couldn't go to the same school that white people went to. And this lady, Linda Brown, was just a kid.
Yes, and her parents.
And her dad, was the actually one that filed the suit.
Yes, he was.
And so it was interesting reading about this and about her. I mean, I've known the story all the time, Plessy versus Ferguson, and this was when it didn't go our way, and
Right.
the ruling didn't go our way. They said separate,
But equal.
but separate was equal. It was legal,
Right.
under the 14th Amendment.
Right.
In so many words, and then that was reversed. But under Brown versus the Board of Education, it just said right out from the Supreme Court that it was not legal,
Right.
that it was unequal to the 14th Amendment. And Linda Brown is quoted as saying that she just didn't understand why she could play with the kids, the white kids in her neighborhood.
Right.
But when it got time to go to school, the white kids could walk to school, to the little neighborhood school. Then she had to get on a bus and go somewhere else.
Right, because her parents were educated, and they were, they were like middle class, so they lived in this community which was not segregated because they lived there. And so this is when the father decided to, take up the cause for his child. And, which all of us take up causes for our child, so everyone can relate to that. So she died in Topeka, Kansas on Sunday afternoon, and she was 76 years old.
Yeah. Now, that to me, that's why we are having this special anniversary show. That to me is not the point that she passed on. All of us have to pass on at some point. But to be able to speak to the service that she gave in her life because of her father and because of what she said, that no matter, and they tell the history, no matter how they explained it to her, she, as a little girl, she just couldn't understand it. They explained, well, baby, that's just the way it is. And I could just see in my mind adults trying to explain something to a little girl, a little kid, and the little kid is not getting it. And the little kid has said, but I don't understand. We play together, we live in the same neighborhood together, but why they get to go over here and I got to get on a bus and go over there? And they just finally told her, because their skin is white and your skin is black. And then I guess that moved her father to say, my daughter should not be subjected to that.
Exactly. And so that's a parental decision that parent had to make, which we all make, at some time during our children's lives. That's going to make a difference. And this decision of board versus the Board of Education is reverberating through our communities right now.
Mm-hmm. So when Mrs. Walker said we are going to title this show We're Here, with the 3 segments that we have, I kind of pondered, we are here with Linda Brown. She's gone. And then I thought about the bigger story. The bigger story is because of the work of Linda Brown and her father, we are here.
1950, and that was 1954 U.S.
Right.
Supreme Court case.
Right, we are here.
Right.
We're looking at Harvard professors that are African American and female. We're looking at people teaching in places where they never could teach. Where people are going to school where they never could. So, where is the abbreviation? Where is the problem? Everything can be the problem of somebody else. A pair of breeches, that's what they called them when I was a kid, a pair of breeches that's 10 sizes too big, and you put them on and you got to hold them on your body with one hand while you walk with the other hand, and then people are looking at parts of you that should not be seen in public. Whose issue is that?
It's all of our issues, and that's where
Really?
I believe.
My only issue would be to give them a belt and give them the right size pants.
Well, good. That's a part of what is needed in this day and time.
I don't think they need that. I think they know that their pants is too big.
Well, once you sit down and you take the time to just have a conversation with that person, then maybe you may be surprised to find out maybe they just don't have a belt. My son, he came to my house, his pants he was experiencing that same thing that Mr. Hall just described, and he said, Mom, pretty much I'm little, so the belt doesn't have enough holes in it, so I took the time and put some holes in his belt. So, just take time to have a conversation with the young individuals that you see, and you may be surprised.
That's why we're the Raymond Hall Show, and you have a different conversation, because Miss Walker has an understanding. See, as we roll and we push, we men, we just assume that men have the posture of a man.
Right.
We never looked at it from a woman and a mother's perspective. I never looked at the fact. I just always look, you need a belt, you're a size 32, go to the rack and get a size 32 belt, and you got the appropriate hole.
But the belt does have only so many holes, though.
No. You're absolutely right. What I'm saying is, these are the kind of conversations that we should have as a community, because one person's sight is from the perspective of them.
Right.
And your sight is, wait a minute, let me give you a different perspective on that very same issue.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So now, to tell you how far you are right, back in the day, it was just one belt in the house, and Mama made a hole for everybody to fit everything. So this is what I'm saying about when she appropriately named it. We are here. We're here because of what Linda Brown and other persons have done. And we need to have conversations to see where another person's view is. We know where our view is, but where is someone else's view? And when we can have an understanding, or when we can have a conversation about someone else's view, then we can be more supportive and we can be more understanding of where someone is.
Exactly. So wrapping up, just a little bit more information on the Mrs. Brown. By 1952, the U.S. Supreme Court had on its docket similar cases from Delaware and the District of Columbia.
That's true.
And Virginia. They all challenged the constitutionality of racial segregation in public schools. However, 2 years later, the court unanimously ruled to strike down the doctrine of separate but equal. The justices agreed that it denied the 14th Amendment. It denied what the 14th Amendment guarantees of equal protection under the law. So we're just merely.
Well, the schools was one thing. See,
right.
I remember remnants of separate but equal.
Okay.
The school was just one aspect. There were separate drinking fountains.
Yes.
There were separate doors. White people could enter the front door on Main Street. But if black people wanted to go into the department store, you had to go in the back door, and oftentimes that back door was in a basement. So you couldn't go in the front door on the main floor. You had to come into that store in the back door, which was through a basement, and then come up. And I never will forget. My mother graduated from Lemoyne on and went on. She never showed us things. She taught us things. She's my champion today.
Right.
This lady, they used to have the hats on the little things on the counter.
Right.
And this lady, my mother picked up the hat, and the lady walked over to her and told her, "We's don't allow y'all to try them hats. You can buy it, but you can't put it on your head."
Right.
And my mother, with just the strength of, I'm going to say an angel, because I was a kid and I'm smoking hot.
Right.
Okay, you talking to my mama. My mother just put the hat back on the little mannequin head and took my hand and walked away.
Right.
So schools were just one of the
segments
things in that fabric of separate but equal. Okay.
But praise be to God, we have come a long way.
Okay, so that's why we are here.
Yes.
We are here because things have come a long way, and they are no longer what they used to be. Our children are able to go to the schools where they have the academic aptitude to be able to go to those schools.
Yes, they
and I want to applaud all of you young people who reached for your destiny higher and higher and higher. I want to reach for the future engineers. And I'm not just talking about black people now. I'm talking about black, brown, white, yellow. Just you all are reaching and doing and creating things that we never thought that we would be able to see. So
and it's a remarkable accomplishment. And these are the things that we want to say in our conversation. We realize that those things happened in the past. And then we also accept what we are right now, but we know that we still have a long ways to go. And through the conversations and the communication and sitting down, talking to that young man that's walking down the street with his pants hanging down, just take a little time to just, have a conversation with him. And you never know how you can be enlightened. So just through the communication of just taking the time to talk to someone.
Well, one of the things that I want to make an emphasis on is this. I think that there needs to be a conversation, like we had a conversation. Maybe we will take a show and focus on it. What can we do to help refocus the zeal to get young people to stay in school? See, I know what it is to when, man, you get so far behind in math, your only option is just I might as well just quit. I'm never going to, I've been there, done that. And eventually I had to go back, get a tutor, and get someone to help me and get through that class.
Yes,
okay. So whatever we need to do, we don't want to hear the voices of they should and they would and if they did and no. We want to hear the young people's voice. We want to hear your voice. What does it take if you didn't finish? What does it take for you to finish? What would it take from us if we said, let us help? Not the kind of help that the government would give you or that someone else would give you, but from the community. What can your community do to help you get through school? Because without it, in this day and time, you're going to be relegated to the kind of meager living that everything you earn, somebody's going to be standing there to get a part of it, the rent, the car note, the whatever. But you're not going to be able to have those kind of expendable incomes that let you enjoy the world that you live on. Okay. So hats off to Mrs. Brown, Miss Linda Brown. We thank you for the courage of you and your family.
Yes, absolutely. And next segment we'll be touching on a topic that has been reverberating through our community for some time, which is violence in the slaying of another African American young man, and his name is Stephen Clark.
Yes.
And all of you probably have heard and have been following along with the story. And so we wanted to just take a little short time to talk about it between Mr. Hall and I and see, our differences in how we approach the subject. So, Mr. Hall, how did you feel when you heard about this incident that occurred?
I didn't. speaking with you, you can always bring a different dynamic to me. Some things don't change.
Right.
I just don't see a need why somebody should be shot 20 times.
No, neither do I.
I don't see it. And for the police officers, now don't get me wrong, I'm a part of the community in a myriad of ways. And I support law and order doing their job, protecting and serving. I really do. I've had to call them in the case of seniors in the community when they needed to be called.
Right.
And they came in and they did their job and they did what needed to be done. But certain things seem to happen.
They seem to keep happening. Now, Mr. Stephen Clark was allegedly, the story that we have been told, was holding only a cell phone when he was fatally shot Sunday night by 2 Sacramento police officers who fired at him 20 times. The department said Tuesday. Department officials on Tuesday offered more details about what happened in the moments before Mr. Clark, who was 22 years old, encountered officers in the backyard of his South Sacramento home where he was staying with his grandparents. So this is the story that we have been given, which Mr. Hall and I discussed. There's several stories. We don't know everything, and there's still going to be more things coming out. But from my perspective, I was really, really hurt. And the first thing I thought is that why does every shot have to be a kill shot? Why can't the person be disarmed? Shoot him in the leg, the foot, something just to disarm him versus the kill shot. And also, what were the things surrounding the incident? So we have to, get all of the story so that we can have a clear understanding, which by all means, 20 shots, I just don't understand that.
This guy that had all of those bombs a week or so ago down there in Austin.
Right.
They say just him turning on his cell phone was instrumental in them locating him.
Right.
With Mr. Clark, they showed this back when I was in the Corps. We had what was called night vision goggles. I don't know what they call it now.
The infrared. Night vision.
Night vision. Okay. Ours was green.
Okay.
When you look at something at night through these goggles, it's green. So you see the image in the green, but that image, the way this thing plays out, that doesn't say that that's Mr. Clark.
No, it does not say that.
It just shows us
a person,
a image,
an image of a person.
Okay, now you have the ability. You have all of this technology. Remember, our tax dollars are paying for this.
Right.
You got these stun guns. You got all of these other weapons, the tasers at your disposal.
Why is the first thing the kill shot?
Well, at 20 shots, how we know that it was the 20? Maybe they kept shooting until he was dead. See, too many things keep happening. Why do you keep turning off your mics? Why do you keep turning off your cameras? We said, give them body cameras, and you give them a body camera, and they still turning them off.
Right.
Okay, we have to look at it first, but why you got to look at it first?
Well,
okay, so my thing is, this may not come out the right way, but I'm just telling you how I feel. Sometimes the sun is shining and that ain't rain.
Right.
Okay? Don't be doing that on my head. That ain't rain. Okay, you keep turning off the body camera that you were supposed to not turn off.
Right.
You keep putting the mic on mute unless they say you're supposed to be discussing, and the first thing you hear the guy say, "Hey man, turn the mic off."
Right. And then the mic goes off. Okay? Well, you got a helicopter that's supposed to be looking at someone, and then the helicopter is saying and looking and doing one thing, and then here come these guys. That's him.
and just get to shooting.
Right. So we're going to be following this, Mr. Clark's.
Too many African Americans. Too
right.
many.
Too many African Americans have been slain, and there are several that we can speak of, like the young man that just killed all these people. At Stoneman Douglas, he survived. The young man that he wasn't shot to death. The young man that killed the people in the church, he survived. The young man that did the bombing, he survived. These were all not non-African American young men. So, this is just personally from Erica and how I feel. The same way that you handled those incidences, I feel that it should be handled the same way across the board, because all of these other times it's been fatally wounding these African American young men.
Yeah. Well, one of the speakers at the rally with the children last week was this young African American girl, and she spoke to that they don't talk about the fact that they grew up with all of these murders. And the young boy that talked about his twin brother got killed.
Right.
Okay, the African American. And so not one time did anyone talk about all of the loss of life at the hands of the police.
Not one time. That's not the subject. They never talk about that.
They don't never talk about that. They and I'm not laying anything at anyone's feet. I'm just saying, at this show, we're a progressive show.
Yes, we are.
And we're going to have progressive conversations.
And it could be a little provocative at times.
Well, it's you. Let me give you something, and we're going to go on.
Okay.
Everybody I talk to, even my co-host, Ms. Walker, she's usually if I got one person on this earth that's going to work with me on this, she's usually going to work with me on it. I want you to envision something. Okay? You're not going to see it. Your children's not going to see it, and I'm not going to see it. But I want you to envision it, and I want you to start talking about it. No BB and WMD. Imagine a world, the whole planet, free of bullets, bombs, and weapons of mass destruction. That means get rid of the delivery systems of mass destruction. No more nuclear submarines that can launch bombs across the world and take out half of the globe. No more airplanes that are so stealth they can blow up something. The bullet, the bomb, weapons of mass destruction, and all of the delivery stuff. Just imagine a planet free of it all. What would it take?
I guess we that'll be a subject in a time that we're going to have to continually
from Mars, because it ain't. Yeah, because it's one of those things. I mean, just when it came to me, imagine a world that has absolutely no more. We got the right. I mean, think about this. When we were born, we came out of our mother's womb.
Yes, we did.
And we came out of our mother's womb with one thing. A breath.
Yes.
And when you got here, you got something else, your name.
Right.
So where did the Second Amendment come in at? Okay, he breathed and we gave him the Second Amendment. Then he got to know.
And that's where I'm going to put this little pennant right there.
Okay.
Where something I read in the Los Angeles Daily News on March the 21st, it's, a week ago. But it was about the fact that the current laws that we are governed by in America are laws that were instituted in 1789.
Yeah. So it's things that's making you think about what are we doing
here? Right. So by all means, some of those things need to be addressed and amended, I'm sure, because in 1789, the things that they had at that time, it's a total different world, but we're still governed by those same laws.
Yeah. So, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But don't you cross that line from 1789.
Oh, that's rhymes. I like that.
That's
don't you cross that line from 1789.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But don't you cross that line from life, liberty, and
So,
$17.89.
this is what we say here at the Raymond Hall Show. Here, we're service a different conversation where we're just trying to,
Get you to think.
get you to think about things and be aware of your history. Because when I read that, I never once knew that date and time. I just know, okay, I live under the laws of the land. But these laws were instituted at this time, and these are the same ones that we are operating under at this time.
Now, where can they find that article?
This article is in the Daily News newspaper, March 21st, 2018.
Okay. Front
So
page
go to
section.
you can go to dailynews.com, and the section is on page 4. It's
Okay.
on page 4
right.
of the Daily News. So go there. You can look it up. You can go online and you can look it up and read the article. But I just thought that was very interesting because of what you ended that last statement with.
Yeah, we're coming down to the last good 10 minutes of the show, so we're going to move past our break, and we're going to go on into Mrs. Walker brought something to my attention. We may have to do a part 1 and part 2 because it had me up all night long. Or
Well, it was
half of the
trending
night.
yesterday and day before yesterday in the news, and the feature segment is Google. They know what you know. Facebook. This is about, and it was trending yesterday and the day before yesterday on the internet about Google and what they know. Facebook revenue from Facebook is a social media network that is free for everyone to use. Yet the company racked in more than $40 billion in ads and revenues. Yes, it's free though. So,
And it says that's because Facebook, 1.4 billion daily active users aren't its actual customers.
no.
I read that several times. That's because Facebook's 1.4 billion daily active users,
Which are free using. They use it free.
aren't its actual customers.
Wow.
So its customers is one group of people,
And the
and
users,
the 1.4 billion active users is somebody else.
right.
That's how they came up with all of that cheese. Okay.
Right.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So based on that, we were, looking at Google, and Mr. Hall and I were talking about Google. Like, who is Google? Like, Google is a company that was founded in 98, and by 2 young men that were in college working on their PhD. And since they have grown into what it says, the industry says a conglomerate.
Right.
And they have over 200 companies that are a part of the Google conglomeration. And that alone, it blew my mind. And so we decided that we were going to take some time because it's trending right now. And there was an article, Mr. Hall, talk about the article that the young man that was trending 2 days ago that did the research.
Well, in addition to the research, the thing that got me was this 5th point, the Cambridge Analytical.
Okay.
Because that's what got everybody's attention.
Right.
Okay.
The numbers.
Let's back up this train here.
Right.
Donald Trump's managers, election people, contracted with these people to do something. And I don't want to put this company in any kind of position to say that they did something that I don't really know what they did. All I know is there's a connection there.
Right, because all of this came about because of the research and the details that people are doing since Donald Trump has been under investigation, which is making everybody start to ask about their information that has been compromised.
Right. And it says the Cambridge Analytical debacle is Facebook's, now this is the word they call me, Facebook's latest misuse
of data.
Period.
But the thing of it is, in my view, why? Okay, I'm not going to go there. Let's keep going, Mr. Hall.
But as the company pointed out, this wasn't a leak or data breach of any kind. It's simply how Facebook works. You know,
Everyone involved gave their consent according to the company's response in the matter. And that's the thing between the Facebook and the Google. When you give your consent, you are, in essence, releasing your right to your privacy. So that means that Google owns YouTube. They own Google. They own Alphabet. I mean, they have like I said, a conglomerate. So the reason why we're talking about this is basically based on your privacy that you have in proximity to these usage on Facebook, Google, Instagram, and Twitter. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes. It says now down here at point 8, Facebook knows that data offers endless possibilities. Ignacio. Who I need to get my
Ignacio Confon.
Okay. A research fellow at New York University who studies privacy law and behavioral economics said in a phone interview, if you give Facebook whatever we estimate my data in 2017 to be worth in cash.
I simply have the money. With data is able to hold on to my information to show me as now and also for later. So in essence, everything you're putting on there for free, everything you talk about, everywhere you go, the last time you were there, that information is being stored by Google, and then Google can essentially market back to you because they know it all. So, I mean, this is something that we all know. I know, you know, and everybody knows, but we're just saying that it's a trending topic. It has a lot of ins and outs to it, and you want to make sure that you are aware of when you click agree, that what comes along with that agreement.
We've got about 2 minutes here. Bottom line is this: when you type something into that thing, guess what? Before it gets to the person that you sending it to, they already know it. That's one thing. We got a couple of minutes before we have to get out of here. Again, we want to acknowledge Reverend Lonnie McNamee for coming aboard as a sponsor. Definitely go to Sonia Pretty Cards. Go to Sahara Bookstore here in Los Angeles and get it that. You will be absolutely amazed at some of the wonderful things that you'll find at I'mALuxury.com. So make sure that you go there. Now for the studio, Felicia Morris has entered into a contest where she'll be in the FedEx Small Business Grant Contest. I should quit making this print so small. You see it?
Okay. Hi, friends and family. I hope the day is going. Is that what you were reading?
Yes.
Okay. I hope the day is going well. We've entered into the FedEx Small Business Grant Contest, and we need your votes for our chance to win. If we win, the grant money will give us help to launch the Morris Media Broadcast Academy for our community youth. All you have to do is click the link, put in your name and email address to vote. You can vote every 24 hours. Your time and support is much appreciated. Thank you so much. P.S. Share the link. It's for a great cause. Best regards, Felicia, the poetess Morris.
Okay.
Media.
Thank you so very much. And what do you have in closing comments? We got about a minute.
Okay, in closing comments, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you to my parents, my mom, my dad, my children. Thank you to the community at large for being so gracious and welcoming me into your home. And I just look forward to many more days like today where we can sit down and have a different conversation. My name is Erica Flynn Walker. It's been great being here with you today.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to the Raymond Hall Show. I am your host, Raymond Hall, and I'm going to say something to you. If you open up yourself to learn something, you're going to see that each and every day offers new opportunities. Embrace a new opportunity, and you're going to see that the new opportunity that you've been afforded is going to be strength for someone else. Have a little service in your life that little service will go a long way to be the strength of the nation. Have a good evening.
Have a great day. Thank you. Ta-ta.